Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Today I am going to be continuing the hide and seek experience that I did in the last few streams. I've also progressed on this experience on my own channel, which is why there's walls and stuff on this experience. If you didn't tune into that, you'll see that this has progressed a little further than the previous stream I did on the channel. And basically it's just a basic two level experience with a staircase on each side and colored doors which need keys to get into areas. Also made it so you can see from level 2 down at level 1, which is useful for both parties when trying to avoid each other. Or if the seeker is trying to get you, knows where you are. That sort of thing. And yeah, we're going to continue on from there. Hey everyone, welcome. All right, so from here we're going to create the game flow. So up here we have the place where the player will spawn in when they enter the experience, collect an object or interact with something to join, which will put them over here. So maybe just have something like a panel. Obviously you'll decorate this with your own assets and make it pretty, but I'm just here to add the logic. All right, so we'll just put a message broadcaster on this panel, and this panel will have a message to interact, which means that when a player presses E, it will trigger, and we want to send a message to what do we want to do? So we want to assign. Do we want to assign? So I think let's get the avatar portals. I think the avatar portals assigns a player variable, and then we can just teleport them into an area to say that they're active for gameplay. I think something of that nature. We'll play around with it and we'll go from there. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, Del, Ian. So we're going to now make this the panel that makes the player enter the lobby to be entering the game. When they enter, we need to read their variable, which will be their tag that's assigned to them. And we need to bring this up as well. Why is this not selected? Did I lock this? I must have locked it. Yes, they're all locked. No worries, they can stay locked, doesn't really matter. But these guys can come up to the top. Then we press the snap to ground. And we got them all here on the same level. Cool. All right, so when players join, they are given a team number and a tag associated with that team. Next, we need to trigger join, maybe player joins. Player join game. Do we want to have it as a message argument? Probably not. And let's go into our variables and see what we've got. So we have player 1. I've already forgotten most of this logic, to be honest, but we're going to read through it. So we've got a player. So that's probably the message we're going to use here. And it has add a lobby system, fixed value of 1. Player is players in game. It's going to add 1 for players in game. So we're going to use player. And it's got player number. I don't think we need player number in this one. When we press E, it's going to add 1 to players in game. If players in game is greater than 1, then it's going to start countdown. That says greater than or equals to 1. So it's going to just start the countdown when 1 player joins. In the actual live version, we could do 2 players. So one's a seeker and one's not. But you probably want 3 players because otherwise the seeker can just camp somewhere vital. I guess they can do that anyway. Yeah, interesting. We'll just do it for the sake of testing. And then when a player joins, it's going to start countdown at 8 seconds. Then it's going to do the RNG system, which will then select one of the players to be the seeker. When a player joins, it adds 1 to players needed as well, and then compares. When it compares players, where's that happening? This one here is compare number, but we're looking at compare players. Compare players is here. So players in game is greater than equals to 1, then start countdown. Okay, so this happens at the same time over here. Gotcha. All right, cool beans. So when someone does player, we'll go ahead and do a numpad to teleport them over into this area here. We'll make that invisible, no collisions. We'll remove the default behaviors on the numpad, and we're going to teleport. We're going to have player as the teleport message, and we'll just say lobby TP, and we'll copy that over to the teleport destination, which is itself, and that should be good. So if I go ahead and save and test that, it should teleport me as a player over there and add 1 to a countdown. Let's go ahead and test that out. So at the bottom it says players needed is 2. My local variable is 1, as you can see on the left. We're going to go ahead and press E. Now we are in our starting area. It says players 1 on the left. But it's saying that we need 2 players in order for this game to begin. But it has done the RNG anyway, and it's rolled number 1, and it's given me the seeker role, which is why that box is covering the avatar. But let's check out what's going on. I'm going to do it again. Hey, skate room, welcome. All right, so our local variable is now 2 when I TP over. The RNG on the left is 0. And now it's rolling, and it's rolled 2, and it's assigned it to me. But it says players needed 1 of 2, so I'm going to investigate that and make sure that the right value is there at all times. Whoops, that's not player, it's gameplay. And what we need here is to select the HUD. And the bottom one here is 2. We're going to change that. So it's not a fixed value, but it's a value of a variable. And our variable will have some math to it as well. So the more players that join, no, maybe not actually. Let's just do 1, fixed value 1. And then we're going to start countdown. What's this for? So we've got countdown up at the top, and it lets you know when the game begins. It only needs 1 for that to occur, and it has player. So I'm wondering now, will that countdown begin? Let's have a look. Let's check it out. Alrighty, here we are. We're going to press E. Players needed, 1 of 1. You can see at the top there's a countdown, which is why the RNG doesn't begin straight away. When a countdown finishes, the RNG kicks in. It's allocated me as the seeker. When that occurs, then we need to teleport the seeker over there, and then teleport everyone else that's in here into the experience. All right, let's try doing that task. And then once that task is complete, we'll have a countdown that begins for the level, and also need to spawn the keys, and the keys need to be randomized as well. All right, so we're going to do basic blocks. That's not exactly the right block, but I don't think it matters. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that anyway. And now I'm going to put another numpad here. And I'm going to put that in a taskbar so we don't have to look for that again. Get rid of the invisibility and collisions, and get rid of default. And we're going to put teleport here. And we need something that triggers this teleport only for the player that has the pickable. So what we're going to do is just check our presets that we made previously. I think we're up to 3 or 4. I'll bring them both out. I think they're both different as well. But we have here message on picked is seeker. Message on picked is seeker. So we can use that message now to teleport the seeker over here. So we're going to do seeker, and we'll say seeker starting, seeker waiting area. If we label it with a name, we can then search that teleport destination here. We just paste the name of the asset here, and that's where the player will teleport when this message is sent. So now that we have that established, now we can test it and see if if the player is selected as a seeker, will they be teleported over here? And if they do, we have completed that step. So we got local number as 4. We got the countdown at the top middle, counting down. And once that hits 0, the RNG kicks in. We have now got RNG 4. We are now the seeker. And you can see we are in our own waiting area as the seeker. Since the RNG has stopped, there's no more allocation for the seeker, which means that everyone that's left over there, which will be everybody else, will be teleported into the game. So let's set that part up now. What we'll do here is we can do a speaker. Or maybe a volume. We can do speaker. So speaker is 10 by 10 by 10. It completely contains this area, which is what we want. It's going to detect an entity. When it does, maybe we can send, or maybe spawn TP for for hiders, something like that. Spawn TP for hiders. So when the seeker enters this area, that message will be sent. It can be sent to come back over here and teleport the remaining players. Now, I think the teleport requires every player to actually trigger. So what we can do here is duplicate this one with Control D. We'll get rid of the teleport that's on it and put a volume on it. And make sure that this volume covers this whole waiting area. So we'll do a box, then we'll just make it wider. And you can see it covers the whole area. No issues. So we'll do 16 just in case. And then we can say TP all to game area. So anyone that's in here will TP to game area. What we can do now is save that TP, got to label it to game area. And we're going to save that as a preset. We probably want to put a plant on it as well to kill it off. So when a game is running, it dies and it won't hinder the next round. So we can say remove plant. And we'll save over the existing preset we just made. And now we'll have an asset spawner here. And that asset spawner will bring out that preset we just made. And we don't want it to only happen once. We want to be able to loop the game. And this message here will be the message that triggers that. So when it detects the avatar here, it sends a message spawn TP for hiders. So we're going to do that here. And spawn TP for hiders triggers the asset spawner, which then brings out the detection, and that detection will send everybody to the play area. In theory, we're going to have to test that out. So I'm going to bring this out just to keep an eye on the messages. So we got here TP all to game area. So we're going to find a place where the players are going to spawn. We probably want to spawn them in this room here on the first floor. There is a group teleport option. Players within this area will get teleported. Yeah, but it says teleport destination, so maybe I need this as a detection. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I need to do a test. Probably need you guys to help me with that test to see how this part works, because I've never really used the group teleport. I don't know how it behaves, but we'll say hiders TP area. So this is where we're expecting all the hiders to be teleported to. Now let's go to our spawn point. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a teleport. And that teleport, we're going to send them to this asset that we've allocated below. It's going to be a group teleport. We're going to do 15 by 10 by 10 to cover the whole area. And the message will be TP all to game area. So hopefully that is enough for it to work. Instant teleportation, and we'll save that as a preset. We'll delete that and we'll save. And what I need to add here now is if that works, and I don't know how I'm going to test it on my own, but I'm going to try anyway. I'll put a multiplayer and see if everything works at the moment as intended. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay. All right, we're in this area. It's going to do an RNG system. It's going to pick 5 because that's somebody who has the number 5. It hasn't given me a spawn. Maybe I have an issue with preset number 5. I know I was upgrading them one by one, so they're not all the same. Maybe number 6 is more advanced and will actually work, but we'll come back to those presets later. Just want to try to get the starting mechanism of the game working, and then we can polish everything else. All right, 6 has been allocated. I'm over here. I'm able to do the speed increase. And I'm able to spam it. I think it's the later ones where I fixed that. So preset like 8 and 9, I think I fixed all of that. We'll come back down to that later. So this here will need to have a timed behavior. Just so there's a delay between teleporting and action. I'll show you in a moment what I mean. So avatar teleportation is Seeker. It detects the avatar and then says spawn TP for hiders. We can spawn TP for hiders and then say after maybe we could delay it a bit, so maybe have like 4 seconds or even 3 seconds. This one here will be begin game start countdown. So we're going to begin game start countdown and we'll send it from here. After 4 seconds, it will spawn TP hiders, and what that allows me to do is put a panel in this area here as a seeker, just to teleport myself back into this room to see if that teleport works. So I got here TP back. This is just a test, and what we can do here is duplicate, and we can have TP back, message as an asset spawner. We're going to get rid of that. And we've got a teleport. We'll put that as TP back. We called it TP back, and that's the destination we want to go to. All right. So the whole idea is to be selected as a seeker, teleport back into here, and after 4 seconds to see if the volume works and teleports me into the experience. And if that works, then it should work for everyone else in here. I'm hoping the group teleport works as intended, but we'll find out. All right, we're 7. Nope, it keeps putting me back here. And that's not what I wanted. So let's have a look at what's going on. It shouldn't be putting me back here. All right, so we got message broadcast. It's because when I pick up the, when I pick up the when I'm dropping the box that I'm holding, it instantly picks it back up and then teleports me back here because this is what's been sent by um the the box that I'm carrying. So that's a bit of a pain. What I could do here, just for the sake of testing, is duplicate. I'm going to get rid of the timed event and the speaker, and I'm going to put a plant on this one. And this one here has seeker, but I'm going to get rid of the teleport on this one. And the speaker here sends a message, begin game. So I'm just going to put that here. And that way it kills off this teleport. And then hopefully allows us to go to the next area. Not ideal, but it's okay for what I'm trying to do with testing the teleport into the game logic. So we're local number 8. We wait for the countdown to go to 0. Then the RNG will randomly select whoever is in this area. Awesome. Now I'm going to go back. Nope, I'm not going to go back. Oh, there we go. All right. So that did work. So it's I just went over there and the volume was already there. So it just teleported me straight here. And you can see that's all good. And then after that occurs, I need a volume to spawn inside where the seeker is, put them into the map as well. And then the game begins. So these guys will get teleported in after 4 seconds, and then get teleported into the room below. Now I need to put the seeker over here. It will need its own teleport because it's in a different area of the map, and it will be TP seeker in game. And we're going to go ahead and select that as the teleport destination. And yeah, we can say TP seeker into game area. Cool. Alrighty. And we'll zoom back out. And what we want to do here is we want to make another volume like we did for this area. And all we want to do here is send a different message. We could do a plant to remove it. So that's fine. And basically we want to send a message TP to game area so that the seeker gets put into the game area. I'm going to save this as a preset. Cool. And we're going to make this now an asset spawner, which brings out that preset. So we'll go and select that preset in here. We want it more than only once because we want to loop this whole cycle. And we'll say TP seeker to game. So we'll go ahead and I think we can do this with a timed event. So we're TPing the hiders, and then after 3 seconds they're TP'd in, we're going to TP the seeker into the game. So I'm going to save that and test it out and see if this cycle works as intended. Hey Temio, how's it going? Welcome. Hey Mark, thanks for joining. All right, we're going to test this out now. Make sure it works as intended. Alright, the RNG is kicking in. It's looking for an available player number. The player is number 9. But it did not TP me in. So I'm just going to check the preset for number 9 just to see if it was something to do with the preset or if it's something completely different. Yeah, so I got no message unpicked. This one here should be Seeker, which is why it didn't TP me in. But I'll save over that, and now I'll do the same for 10, because I'm assuming if 9 doesn't have it, 10 won't. 10 has it. All right, let's test that again, because the next one will be 10, and it should work as intended. All right. Let's see what happens. All right, so we're in our area. We need to wait approximately 8 seconds. And now we are in the Seeker area where we can begin looking for the players who were spawned downstairs. So far, so good. We're getting the process happening. Awesome. Obviously, it still looks very raw, but you need to have the game flow happening, and then you polish up all the bobs and bits in between. But we can now allocate a Seeker. Everyone else are hiders. All the hiders get teleported into their own section on the experience, and then after 4 seconds, the Seeker gets teleported to another area, pretty much the opposite area of the experience. And then the game begins. But we do need to change the HUD when the players join this area. So what I'm going to do here is a volume that covers this whole play area. And when the players join this level, their HUD will change based on the message of this volume here. So we're going to edit logic, do a box. I'm basically going to do 50 by 50 and just hope that it touches all of the corners. Pretty much does, including the height, because the experience starts there. So yeah, perfect, right? And anyone that enters will say gameplay HUD. So gameplay HUD will be sent. And we can go to our rules and we can duplicate one of these existing HUDs. And here we can change countdown to something else. So we can say time left, right? So we've got time left. Time left, and we probably want the time to begin globally when a player enters the gameplay HUD. So let's see if adding a timed event here will help. So we're going to start timer. That timer will trigger with gameplay HUD. And the only issue is as players enter, it's probably going to restart the timer. So it will start as soon as the player begins. And then when the Seeker joins in, it's probably going to start that timer again. So let me see if we can send a message here start game timer. So if the seeker sends a message from teleport in, it will send a message start game timer, and hoping that this will start the game timer from, how long should we let the players have? Like 3 minutes. So 6, 12, 18, maybe a bit longer, but we'll do that for now. And then if it reaches 0, end round. Cool. I'm going to see if this works. So I'm going to Control S and do another test. I'm also going to see if variable number 11 pickable has that seeker message, just to make sure that the logic triggers as expected. So let's go to number 11. And that one has a seeker, so that's all good. But let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, we are joined. It's picked us for a number. It's going to wait. We are now here, and you can see in the top middle, there's time left, and there's a countdown that has begun. So all of this is working. The seeker is in the game. The hiders are in the game. The timer has begun, and we have the ability to increase speed. And we also want to be able to decrease speed, as you see here, but not for us, just for players around the seeker. So we're going to have to work around that sort of solution as well. And obviously you don't want this box to be the the seeker, because it just looks funny. But you can replace this asset with something that completely covers the avatar and have like a scary face on it. You can't really get the movement. I'm hoping in 0.12 we'll have the ability to change the look of the player with a message. So if we want the seeker to be a particular avatar or a look, they will turn into this avatar, and same with the people that are hiding. And when they get caught, you can send a message to the people that got caught to look like the people that are now seeking players. That would be a really good addition to the Game Maker. Let's hope something like that gets added in the future. So far so good. Next, we want to randomize the keys. So the keys will have a random location based on the number rolled from the RNG system in the rules. So the way we can do this is using the existing timed behavior. And we have spawn TP for hiders. What we can do here is add another event. So once this is sent and it's teleported all the players into the play area, after 1 second we can spawn, we can say RNG keys, and then we can do another event, and we can say okay, RNG keys should actually be enough, so we won't need to worry about this next value. So RNG keys will be sent after the players are teleported into the experience. 1 second is not enough for players to get from when they spawn to wherever the first key may be. So it's not that important that it's done afterwards. But if it does for your experience, you can always do it before. Okay, so this is the keys. So what we need to do now is have a rule for the key RNG system. So what we'll do here is we will have a, where is it? Roll a random number. It's under replace variable values. And here we can say RNG keys. And the minimum value can be 1 and the maximum value can be whatever you want. We can have like many different variations, or you can just have like 3. We'll just do 3 for this example, and we'll expand on it later. So we've got key RNG and key allocations. I don't know if I've already added an RNG system for the key. Let's have a look. Okay, we already have. So we've got key RNG. It's going to be rolling between 1 and 15. And we've done like 6 locations here. So let's go ahead and just make that 6, and we'll use this one. And key RNG is what's already been used. So I'm going to go ahead and change that message over here. I forgot that I made this last time. So this one here is key RNG. Perfect. So when this message gets sent to the rules, it's going to roll a number between 1 and 6. Then it's going to compare that number, and if it equals 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, it's going to spawn the keys at that location that has that message waiting. As you can see, there's no number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate one of these and just give it the number it needs. Cool. Oh, it is there. I didn't realize that this was covering something up. That's okay, we got it now. It's all there. That makes sense now. All right. What we can do is just to check what the RNG is. So we want to keep an eye on that. So what we can do here is, so we've got players in game. We can get rid of most of these. This is just to confirm players needed. This is just to confirm if it's working, and then we can always remove it. So we're going to say key RNG, key RNG, and that should be fine. So I'm going to check if number 12 has the seeker. There we go. And it does, so that will work when we spawn in. And now these are the asset spawners for the key. And what we can do here is we can duplicate each one. Are these the same color? They look very similar. In this light, they look very similar. Okay, I might have to make the blue a light blue, like the sky. Because they both look purple to me. So yeah, we go down to the key RNG, which is over here. And it sends a message, set location 1, set location 2. So if it rolls 1, it's going to send a message, set location 1. And then you can have all these keys, asset spawners. I'm going to duplicate. And what we can have here is we can say set location 1. And all of these keys here should spawn. What we could do here to differentiate between the numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one here is set location 1. We're going to duplicate these. And we'll have it in this row. And this is location 2. We can duplicate. Control Z to reselect it if you accidentally not if you accidentally clicked away and not have it selected. Then we can do set location 3, duplicate these, and we can have select location 4, duplicates, set location 5, and duplicate, and set location 6. So depending on which one is rolled, the set of keys should appear when the game begins. And if it works as intended, you make all these asset spawners invisible and no collisions, and then you appropriately hide them in the rooms that will make sense and not block the players from progressing. So like this middle hall here requires a blue key on both ends to get in. So you will not put the blue key in this room to spawn. Otherwise players can't get in it because they need blue key to get in. This one here is a gold key. You would not put the gold key spawner in this room. So that's something that you'll need to pay attention to when putting these locations in. So you just put wherever you want the spawn location 1, you put a pattern somewhere, and if you're happy with that pattern, if it rolls 1, that's how they'll spawn. Hey, what the? I didn't even click join game. What happened? Oh well, whatever. All right, and as you can see in the left-hand side, the key RNG has rolled 6, and then when we entered the game, we have these keys here in row number 6. So you can see now that we can have different spawn locations based on the game because it rolls before the game begins, which means that each time that you have the game cycle through, players won't know exactly where all the items are because they are randomized in color. And it could be empty in some locations, it could have no key at all, it could have an item, you could have a trap, you can have all sorts of things. It's just all randomized, and now you just put these asset spawners appropriately around the map. You wouldn't put the purple key in this room because it needs the purple key to get in, for instance. You could put a key in a locker here. You could put any key in a locker here because it's not blocked by any access that requires a key to get in. Here is a red room. You wouldn't put the red key in this room. You probably wouldn't put the red key in this locker either. Otherwise you'd just be picking up the red key and coming straight here. So you probably want to think about gameplay flow. Maybe you do want to put the red key there. Sometimes it might be really close. Yeah, it's up to you. So you want it now that if the door over here, let's find it. Where is it? All right, there's a door in the basement behind here. We're not able to get in unless we put in the code in the numpad. It's a gigantic numpad. To open up the door, to find the 3 or 4 digit code, it will be in particular paperwork or things around the room. When you put that key input in, it opens up this door, and when that door is opened, it will have access to the final door, which requires the yellow key or the gold key. So that's over here. So there's a numpad room. You open up that door with a keypad, and you come down here, and there's a gold door. Player opens up that gold door and walks through, and they escape and win. And that's the end of the experience. So we can have a numpad here which has a volume to detect any player that walks through that door. And the only way to walk through that door is to have it opened. So we'll go ahead and put that in. So something like that requires a player to run in, and once they run in, we can send a message to say end game or something, end round, or we can say hiders escaped hide as escaped, and then use hide as escape to bring up messages, and then use that to stop the timer of the level. So if we go to the top, which is where we got the start timer, message to stop the rule will be hide as escape, because when they escaped, the game timer pauses, and then sends a message to say they have escaped, which means the seeker loses in this case. And then you need to go through a whole logic path to reset the experience, and allow players to, again, join up the experience, randomize who's the seeker, so it's somebody different, and then have another game. We could probably even have a variable which shows that someone has been a seeker in this game already. So if you are a seeker, your personal seeker variable here, we could probably just create that. We'll make it local. So seeker check will be 0, and when you are a seeker, this seeker check local number will become a 1. So the next game, when players want to play a new round, it will check to see if your seeker number is 0 or 1. If it's 1, it won't pick you. It will pick someone that is seeker 0, so that way it gives a chance for every player to be a seeker. Because sometimes you can roll the same number 3, 4, 5 times in a row, and that would be pretty stale for the other players who want to be a seeker, or vice versa. So it's good to have like a local number check, and put some rules in place to check that value to see if the player has previously been a seeker, and if so, to ignore them in the RNG selection for the seeker. Gives all players a chance to be that role. That will require some logic setup, and we can do that a bit later on, maybe next stream for that one. Okay, so if the hide has escaped, it's going to go ahead and put that the timer on pause, and now we need to have something that basically sends a message to say, hey, the hide has escaped. So I don't think we have a banner pop-up, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. We're going to have a banner, and with the banner I like to have set text value, and I don't think we've got a global for the banner. Let's have a look. We don't, so I'm going to go ahead and add a text, and that text is going to be global, and this one here will just be global banner. And what's going to happen here is we're going to have global banner as a message, and it's going to be a message argument. For this message argument, this is going to be our universal message we use each time we want to put up a banner for everyone to read. And what we're going to have for this one is text, and we're just going to call it text, and this is what we're going to use to display what text will be on the banner. And then we're going to have number, and this is a number we're going to use for the time that the banner is going to be put up for. The text variable here will be global banner, and the text will be whatever's in a message argument. We also want to put global banner here, and the duration will be whatever is in the message argument, and the message on close we can worry about later, and the global banner is the text that we want to display. Yeah, cool. So hide as escape will send a message, and what we can do here is have a event. Nope, it's not under event, it's under, where is it? Here we go, send message is under comparisons. This gets moved later on in the next version. So we're going to have global, no, we're going to have hide as escaped, and hide as escaped is going to send a message global banner, And global banner is going to say players escaped. And we're going to have that displayed for 3 seconds. So when the players reach the end, it should send a message to let everyone know the hide has escaped. You'll find that the player is needed for the banner to be displayed, so you will need a volume trigger that comes out, highlights everybody in the experience to let everybody know that message, because it requires all players. So what we can do here is when hide has escaped is sent, we could do it this way if it's a single player game, but we're going to get rid of that. And what we'll do here is use this volume, which covers the whole experience here. We're going to duplicate it with Control D, so we've got a copy of it. And then we're going to say global banner. And that global banner will be saying players escaped. And it's going to be for 3 seconds. And anyone that's in it, it's going to trigger it for them. And we can just save that as a preset. Players escaped banner. And what we'll do is we'll bring that out with an asset spawner. And that will be hide has escaped. We're going to use a preset. We're going to use the banner, and we want it more than once. We also want to, well, we can't exactly access this part yet, but we want to test to see if that works. So what I can do here is I can duplicate, and what I'll do is I'll just make it in this door entrance here, and when I run into this area, it should trigger that event for the sake of testing, and then I can just delete that. And it should pause the timer up the top and have a banner come out to say that players have escaped. All right. Hi, Byverse. How's it going? You say that you wrote yesterday to me on Discord about the spawn crash problem. You separated the spawned assets. Haven't tested it yet, but you think it will work. Yeah, nice. Bringing them out in step by step, if it crashes, might actually work. But if it doesn't, then there's a particular behavioral component that's causing it. All right, so it should select number 13. I don't have, there's something over there. I don't remember that being there. All right, let's check our preset 13, because it doesn't look like it has the sticker message on that one, which is fine. We'll just have to fix it up. Oh, it does. Oh, but it says A12. I think this needs to be A13. All right, the next one is 14. Let's check out that, and we'll test it again. A14, but it doesn't have seeker, so we'll go ahead and, oops, and we'll put that in. And we'll go to H14 here. Yep. I'm going to save it again, and then we'll test it and see if we can end game with the players hitting the exit. We can also see the next randomization of the keys. Hopefully it's not number 6, just to show that it is working in that area. But the logic is pretty straightforward, so it should be no issues. Okay, it's going to RNG now. There we go. Looks like there's an error there. It's still got some old logic lingering, and 14 didn't quite teleport me. So I'm going to exit the experience and rejoin and see if that fixes this teleporting issue. Just look at that. What's that over here? That shouldn't be there. What's this H12? I don't remember that being there. I'm going to save it and then rejoin the experience. Okay, itchy ear. Ah. All right, that's good. All right, rejoining now. All right, check multiplayer and let's test it out. Oh, local number's 15. It didn't reset the local number. All right, let's hope this works anyway. I didn't check preset 15. I was expecting it to start on 1 again. Didn't quite teleport me, did it? All right, let's check 15. Yeah, didn't have Seeker. All right, let's see if 16 has it. Does not. $16. I'm guessing now because the Seeker message is there, but it's just probably not on all or something similar. Yeah, okay. I'm understanding now. All right, all right. Calm down, preset. I'll do the same for 17. And then we can actually get a teleport happening. I haven't done all of this for the later resets from previous stream. And now it is not behaving as expected because I forgot about this. So let's save that and try again. All right, we have now have our allocation. I don't know why RNG is still going. It's teleported me in. The game has begun. It's roll number 6 again, so we can see that number 6 is there. And here is the exit message, so we can see the timer up the top is ticking down. It has now paused, and it says that players have escaped. And that's coming from the preset spawning in the middle there. And each time I walk in it, it's spawning a new one, which is why it's popping up again. But as you can see, we've now got a ending. We can then teleport the players out back into the lobby area once the game has finished, and then reset the stats, remove any pickables that they're holding, and then do the reroll again. So we can do teleport. We can say TP start area. We can make that the destination, and we can say TP back home. TP back home brings us to start location and GG. Group teleport teleports all players in a given area. Maybe we can do that. So what we can do here is duplicate, and we can have TP back home. It covers everybody in this area. We can have a teleport. I think this is the way to do it. We're going to name this TP home, and it's not going to have a teleport. This is going to have the teleport. It's going to send a message to TP back home. So that's going to be here. And this one is going to be the same as that. So it covers everything. So when this volume comes out, it's going to hit everybody, send a teleport, and hopefully they go back home, TP home. All right, that works. What we can do here is TP home as a preset. So go ahead and save that as a preset. And now we can make an asset spawner. And this asset spawner it could TP us straight away, but we sort of want like a gap. We've got a global banner here. We could send a message on close and have a separate banner, but I could also do an asset timer. So let me go over here and double check that. So hide has escaped. What we can do is have a duplicate. We can have a timed event here. We want to wait for message and we want to reset it so it's loopable. And we'll have hide has escaped. And then say after 3 seconds, it will spawn home TP. It's going to send a message spawn home TP, which then goes over to this asset spawner, and it brings out the preset, which is home, and then that should bring us back home. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to do another test. And let's see if this cycle loops as intended. This is how you build logic, step by step. What are you trying to do? Try to build that, and then add the alterations and adjustments as needed. So we are local player 18. That's not going to work. We need to be number 1 again. This one will be 19. That's not going to work. Next one's 20, and then we cycle back to 1. And that saves us from needing to do presets again. Okay. So we have local number 1. Okay, the RNG kicks in. we're going to wait for RNG1. There it is. We don't have a... we don't actually have a proper setup for that one. All right, let's check it out. Because that's our first one. It's kind of important. Seeker to all. We'll come back to these presets. They are important and we'll get to them. But we've already shown the basics of how this works. And we can always come back to that and make adjustments. I thought it would be nicer to show all the rest of the things too, and then kind of like stitch everything together and plug all the holes, as they say. Okay, we're number 2. We are now over here. It's teleported us in. The game has begun. We rolled number 6 again. See, you can roll the same number quite a few times in a row. We have now ended the game. It's paused. And it's teleported us back into the starting area. You can see we've still got our pickable. So we need something that will kill the pickables when we're up here. I don't know if it kills anything that's that we're holding. Just trying to think how to... I don't know how to kill it in this version of Game Maker, so we're going to have to play around with it and see what works. So number 3 works for all. We're going to have a plant, and that plant is going to kill with home. So TP back home. I think that's what's needed to get here. And see if it actually kills off the pickable. Let's try it out. And if the teleport message to come back home kills it off, we've kind of got a loop happening. And then it allows the player to go back in. The RNG, it will spawn a new one and then give the player the pickable or not. If they rolled the number to be the seeker. All right, we're 3. It's put us in the seeker waiting area. It will teleport all the players into the game. It teleports me into the game. You can see we rolled number 2 for the keys this time, so all the number 2 areas are the ones that are spawned. We're going to eliminate the game, and you can see it's teleported me back home, and we have no more. So, ooh, that's not expected. I think maybe I killed the teleports. Anyway, all right. There's a few things that need addressing here, but you can see the cycle is a bit broken, but there's a little things that need patching up to make the cycle work. Once the cycle works, it means you can go in and out, in and out, in and out of the game. Then we can do the seeker checker. So if you were a seeker last game, it won't let you do it the next game if there are other players that haven't been a seeker yet. But it looks like messaging the TP home worked to kill off the pickable. Game started. Is there a TP over here? TP hiders. Is it this one? So I got teleport in-game I don't know why I've got this here, because player should be going over here. So I can definitely get rid of this. This shouldn't even be here to begin with. And what's this one? Toggle volume 1 on. Takes over the whole map. I don't know what I did that for, but it's there, and I can do a debug search for the message to see what's happening here. So that's the numpad I selected, and where is it going to? So it's going over here. All right, yeah, it's just checking all this. Okay, no worries. And that's all the check-in to see if player 1 has the spawn. But why is that on its own? Did I... Ah, I see. Yeah, so it's supposed to be down here with the rest. It was the only one that wasn't locked, which is why it's a straight. But if I bring it into the right group, then it will make sense and I won't get confused. Cool. All right, so in this stream, we showed the TP sequence for players and Seeker. We allocated an RNG to spawn different keys based on the roll of the number. We've got an end game and pause timer and loop back home if players reach the end, and all the volumes that detect the game has begun and the players have teleported into the game. Next time I stream this experience might be on my own channel at CyberDragon Games. I will do the numpad logic and hide these keys in the rooms that are needed and work out that logic for that. And put an end for the timer. So the timer hits 0, the Seeker wins and lets everybody know that the Seeker wins and that everyone else loses. And then make some refinements from there. After that, I will need to check the presets for the Seeker to make sure it can trigger slow and other abilities for the players in the experience that are not the Seeker. And also, if the Seeker catches someone, to have the option to make them a Seeker as well. If there's like 3 players that are Seeker, then it's almost impossible for the remaining players to escape or finish the experience. So I'll work out if it's viable to add that sort of mechanic in or have it as an option at the start of the game. So infection mode or not, can be voted on by the players, and I can have a voting system before the game begins as well. So all of those mechanics can be done, and I'll show them stream by stream. But right now, I think this is the end of the stream. I've shown quite a bit of logic today. So next week, I will go through the rest of this, and hopefully we can piece some sort of gameplay together. Hey, last year, how's it going? But thanks for tuning in, and see you guys all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.